Hello, everybody. Good evening. So today I just quickly want to touch on a topic that is kind of I would say dear to my heart. This is just one of the things that I nurse in my heart, or I always nurse in my mind as a parent in diaspora. You know how parents will say, parents who are normal in Nigeria. You know how they will say, I am relocating abroad because of my children. Because in my own case, I relocated because of my children. And I always say to myself, oh, I want to give my children better opportunities. I want them to have better lives. I want them to be able to go to the best schools. And it wasn't as though we were like super duper rich, but I just wanted the best for my kids. And one of the main reasons we left Nigeria. So basically, we Japa'd because of the children. And like I said in my previous video, we came with 2 children. What I've noticed, what I've learned over the years is the importance of having that plan, that exit plan, should things go south. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. You know how people always have a backpack somewhere, like an emergency pack, to say, okay, if there is, say, maybe like an outbreak of, you know, like a disease like COVID, for example, like the go-to bag that like your emergency grab bag that, okay, if I need to relocate or move or, you know, emergency fund, emergency, you know how people put things aside for emergency things. Yeah, that's the kind of plan you need to have to be able to Japada, that's run back to your country if you start to see certain signs with your children, especially when you have teenage children. You see, when the children are young, or when my own children were young, I use myself as an example. I just, we lived in a neighborhood that was okay in London, because those neighborhoods, a couple of neighborhoods that we lived in then, I didn't really mind because my children were small, so the nursery schools were okay. Even though we were hearing things then, happening to teenagers and things that were, crimes that young people were engaging in and all those kind of things, things that you would hear and will make your skin crawl, that will make make you really scared. I didn't really bother about them too much at that time because my children were young. So we just went on our lives normal. But as I started to grow up, I started nursing those thoughts little by little by little. And a lot of parents need to pay attention to those kind of things. I knew within myself that once the children get to a certain age, we'll have to leave that neighborhood. That's my own. And that's me paying attention to those things because you hear, oh, this is happening to that person, this one is happening, and you know what's happening in, Black communities. You know how these things, how dangerous it can become when they turn on themselves and they start fighting and how brutal it gets. So I always knew that when the children get to a certain age, I am moving to a different place where there is low risk. I don't mind if, I'll have to be one of the very little minority in that place. I don't mind. I don't mind. As long as they have peace and my children are safe, I am prepared to move. But some parents will always ignore these signs, and that's what pains me. Sometimes, I'm not saying that it's all situations, because I know some people, they paid attention, they did everything they could, and whatever happened still happened. But in most cases, you hear some scenarios that you will just make you disappointed in some parents. I know your abroad is hard, and that's why we are saying that once you have gotten what you are looking for, seek rest. Some people cannot even rest. Some people cannot even rest. Like they walk around the clock. That's why you hear people, dropping here, dropping there. Some people cannot even rest. So if you know that you brought your children here so that they can have good life, so that you can have peace of mind and running away from that same Nigeria that you people are saying that is so terrible. You didn't bring them here for them to come and lose them to the system, number one, or to come and let them end up in prison, number two, or to even let them end up dead. You didn't bring your children to go through these things. You brought your children so that they can have good lives. Then you need to pay close attention to them, especially when they become teenagers. So you see those children that you will hear stories of children sneaking out of their homes at night, and the parents will not even know that they are gone. And before morning, They are back. Why? Because mommy has gone to do night shift, and daddy has gone to do long day. And daddy that went to do long day came back and is so tired that he doesn't even hear param when anybody is opening window or opening the door. And the mother has gone out, and the children will be there roaming the streets. They will be there going from place to place, doing all sort of things, and you, the parents, will not know. So some parents, in their own cases, they are working so hard around the clock to be sending money. There's nothing wrong with sending money to your families and sending money to parents will work to the point that they do not have time for those children. You ignore them or you neglect them to the point that you'll be seeing warning signs like this before you that things are not going on right. You are seeing warning signs that they are associating with bad, group of people. You are seeing warning signs that they are starting to be disrespectful. You will see the signs now. There's no way you will not see it. See a child that is very respectful before, it's now looking you in the eye and talking to you anyhow. I said it in one of my previous videos that my children, they have confidence. That's what this culture teaches you, which is good. Confidence. Everybody picks it up when you come here. If somebody had told me that I'll be doing YouTube, I was very shy, I'm a very quiet, normal, I just face my own, go my own. I don't talk much. But over the years of being here, I found that confidence, even myself, because you need that confidence to be able to practice in the kind of profession that I'm practicing in. For example, you have to speak to families, you have to speak to people of other fields, other professions. You have to present yourself like you know what you're talking about. You don't want to look, so you have to be confident and maintain eye contact and all those timidity and all those things that our culture teaches us in Nigeria to be very respectful. You can't look an adult in the eye, all those things. Those ones are, those are not the things that they do here. Those are one of the downside of Nigeria, even though we say we want our children to be respectful. But here they will teach you to be able to maintain eye contact, to be able to speak up, which is good. But the bad side, and somebody was coming for me and telling me something on the comment section. The bad side of that is the children can then become overconfident in the sense that when you talk, they will look you in the eye like this and talk back. A 3-year-old will ask you, if you tell them to do something, they will look at you and tell you why. Why will I do it? You have to give her explanation. No? You have to explain why she needs to listen to you, why she needs to do what you've just told her to do. A 3-year-old will ask you why. Then you will be explaining, which is nothing bad. I mean, we get used to it. That's the parenting style. When they said you have come to a different culture, so you definitely have to learn how things are done. Otherwise, you get into trouble. You understand? So you have to adapt because all those mentality we have from Nigeria over the years, you flush it out. So children have the tendency to become overconfident, and then they begin to look you in the eye to ask you why. They begin to look you in the eye to tell you why they are not going to do certain things, even if you ask them to do it. Just straightforward disobedient. And then everything is now in God's hands, God's grace. You have to keep praying for them. You have to keep telling them, keep guiding them. It's just by God's grace to raise children abroad. The same children that you left Nigeria because of to come and raise them here is by God's. You will get to a time that even you will be praying to God and say, "Oh Lord, please help me with these children. Don't let their lives be ruined." Because you won't even know. You won't even be able to tell what to expect. You will now be praying. But some parents will see the warning signs and they will still ignore the warning signs. You understand? They will still ignore the warning signs. They will be walking around the clock and that money, if they are not sending it to family, some are using it to buy a gele and go chain and the party accessories to go to party. And then before they know it, the police is knocking on their door and asking. The police is knocking on their door, asking. They are looking for one of your children. You'll be like, no, no, that's not my child. Or that can't be my child. Meanwhile, the child that is already going outside at night that you don't know of, children keeping bad association. Even within the church, we heard about the one that involved that Nigerian pastor. That young people everywhere just getting. I don't want to talk about any pastor on my page, but you know what I'm talking about. It's all over the news. Go and Google it on YouTube. It's there. So you japa because of those children. You better be ready. You have to have that go bag so that when you start seeing those warning signs, those signs that things are not okay with those children, and you know that you're already losing them, you're already losing them, you're already losing them. The reason is that you are working too much. You cannot not work because the bills have to be paid. Those children that you have to feed them. So you cannot not go to work. But when you are at work, you cannot be at home at the same time. You can't monitor everything. What they are watching on social media, what they are watching on their phones, you can only do so much. Then you will turn to God. But when you start to see the signs, don't leave it too late. Don't leave it too late. The only for me I cannot do, like the parents that they said on YouTube recently that brought their children to Nigeria. I don't know if people heard the news, but not their children. The one on the news where the parents brought their son to Nigeria because of fear that he was associating himself in bad stuff, and dumped him in a boarding school, and then they left him there and ran back to the UK. Then the boy found his way to whether home office or something and got a lawyer, something, and sued the parents to the court. So in my own case, me, I will not do that one. I will not leave the child there. I will stay with the child. That's why when I'm sleeping with one eye closed, one eye open, so that I can be monitoring my. And it's not by power, it's not by might, it's not because I am stupid, it's by God's grace. It's not because I am special in any way, it's just by the grace of God that we are raising children here. If you are fortunate enough to quickly come here and find what you are looking for, you think about those children and get ready to take them back once you see those signs. Get ready to Japada if you see those signs. Otherwise, the reason why you have come here, you won't be able to achieve that reason. Look at the one that happened in August, where some African boy went to kill some children in 4 children in Southport. That became a big thing in the country. We all suffered it. They turned on all of us and told us to leave the country just because of a young boy who the parents didn't know what he was up to. That boy has a father, has a mother. And then I kept asking myself, how did the parents miss the signs? How did they miss the signs? How did they miss the signs? A young boy. How did they miss the signs? What kind of spirit came over that child? What happened that will make that child, you know, you have a child that has that kind of heart and you don't even know anything about your child? Yeah? Is it that you are too busy? And yes, you will be busy because that's what abroad does to you. You will be busy. Is it that you can't pay attention to those children and then you leave your children to go and commit that kind of atrocities? We could not go out of our house for more than a week. Imagine, and I was heavily pregnant. Then when I was going to hospital, I was very scared. Very, very scared. My children were stuck home all through summer because of the fear of going outside as immigrants. Because they were attacking immigrants. They were attacking us immigrants. We couldn't even go to the park across the road. We had to stay inside because some mother and some father failed in their duties. Hmm? Run after work, run after work. Everybody wants to live abroad. Abroad is good. It's not like it's not good. You get the facilities. And I'm not saying everybody should go if you enjoy it, but please look after your children. Teach them good manners. It is hard because I have teenagers in my house and I know how hard it is. My children too, they will want to, you are the one that you'll be encouraging them, you'll be talking to them. Because I educate them about the word of God. I talk to them. I tell them why they can't talk to elderly people like this, why they can't do this, why they can't do that. And over the next few months now, I want to be telling them now about Nigeria. So especially the last three I'm thinking, but the first two too, they will be coming. So they need to be educated about Nigeria. They need to know the basics. They need to know about the Nigerian police, for example. I don't need to talk too much, what I'm talking about. They need to know about Nigerian police. For example, the one that is wearing dreads, my boy who is on dreads, I've told him in Nigeria, police people frown at this kind of hair. When they see this kind of hair on your head, they equal it to crime. Then they see dreads on a young person's head. You have given them the ticket to harass you. They say dress the way you want to be addressed. So I remember that from growing up because my brother that was just going to go and buy something from the shop near the house. He just went outside to go and buy something. I remember that from when I was young. He just went outside to go and grab something from the shop next door. And the next thing, he was ringing us from police station that they carried him as he was just by the roadside buying something. They carried him. They said he should call somebody to come and bail him with money. What happened? Then I went there. Do you know what they said? They said they found him somewhere like miles away. That's where they arrested him among people who are smoking joint. Somebody that they picked near the house. We all saw him when he just went outside to go and buy something. And the next thing, they've already carried him to the police station. Said they now lied where they went to go and pick him from, somewhere, somewhere, somewhere. And we had to go and be paying money. I had to go and pay to bring him back. So unfortunately, I know when people are saying that Nigeria, so that's from my own childhood memory. So I know that Nigeria is still like that, and even worse from what people are saying. But God will help us. God will help us. Nigeria is still our home, despite all of these things. So God will help us because at the end of the day, that's where we are from. That is where we are from. I want my children to know home because they need to understand that that part of life. Abroad too, it's not like it's easy, but God is helping us. They can't just have it smooth. They need to understand that they need to see the balance of life. They need to see both sides. They need to see both sides so that one thing, at least one for one, they can appreciate what God did in their lives. They can appreciate that. Even it's for them to just say, thank you, Lord, for giving me this opportunity. That is enough. Be ready to take that sacrifice to go back. If you have to go back because of your children, why won't you go back? So the next content you guys should look out for, I am going to be unboxing. So we are going to do lighter things over the next few contents. Things like family games. There's one thing I am guilty of. I am one those parents who didn't bother to kind of teach my children. We speak Yoruba in the house. We speak Yoruba. We are speaking Yoruba. But the ones I brought from Nigeria, especially my first one, still understands because we were speaking it in Nigeria before we came. But the mistake we made was we did not continue. So we speak Yoruba between my husband and I. But because we don't speak it to them, they don't really understand it. But the first one still understands when you speak, but she doesn't know how to speak it anymore. She's lost it. So all of them now, and I say, okay, as our 1 year project now that we are, our 1 year 2025 plan to prepare for, Nigeria, let us start learning the little things that we can learn in Yoruba language so that at least you learn the language a little bit. So over the next few weeks, we are going to be doing family games that involve them learning the language, then learning some of our culture, some of our cultural things that we do in Nigeria. I will not let the cat out of the box. There will be family games, there will be fun things. Don't forget this is a family channel. So we'll be mixing into family channel. We'll be talking about family stuff, games, anything that is just Nigeria. Because this house now, I want to bring that Nigerian vibe, even Nigerian cooking, egusi soup, okra soup, all those things that they don't like to eat. My children don't like Nigerian food. It's so fight. When we want to cook Nigerian food like this, they will protest. They will protest. It's so burger, pizza. They don't like Nigerian food. So we want to start. Maybe if they get involved in cooking all these kind of foods, they will have interest in eating them. So look out for those kind of contents coming up in over the next few weeks. Just to lighten up the mood, we want to have fun. And then in our group chat, that chat, and let me just use the opportunity to leave this out there. I want that group chat, that WhatsApp group to be like a therapeutic group or a therapy group. Let me put it that way. A group where people can come there and unwind. Everybody there are all adults. I mean, because I work in the day. That's why I post my videos at night. So in daytime, I'm working. And don't forget that I have a baby. That's why I'm not really kind of very active. But I read the comments and I laugh. People are saying so many funny things there. And some people are saying things that are really paining them inside. Inside, they are bringing it there. And I'm so glad because we have so many professionals in that group, believe you me. I get my colleagues in that group. And our course is kind of going side by side, kind of a therapy. So we listen, we assure people, we encourage people. That's part of what we do. So that group, I want to thank everybody for the activity, the way you guys are active in the group. I am so grateful for it. You are all adults. And I see that I've not had any reason to say order everybody, everybody mature comments, encouraging comments. I will say things there, I will laugh. People will bring information, people will bring. In fact, I've seen some things on that place that I'm going to use as content. I will not mention your name, but I will use your comment as content because they are so funny and I think it's worth bringing out here. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to our meeting tomorrow, Friday, 6 o'clock UK time. I'm looking forward to our meeting. So don't forget to come and join us. and just unwind, just relax, tell your story, have a nice time. Let's just chat and share our experiences. Thank you so much for watching, and catch you on the next one. Bye bye.